Well, hey there. It's Ken's stock market review. It's a global look at all stocks on the NYSE and the NASDAQ. Yeah, there are a lot of them. They're like 7,000, but we're just going to dig through this pivot table and just with broad strokes, take a look at everything and show you kind of the capabilities of this. Because I'm not going to give advice about what stocks to buy, but I will say that using a tool like this, you just get a nice snapshot of looking at what's happening throughout the day and learning about the world as well. So what we're looking at is we're looking at, like I said, 7,000 something. Was it 7,720 companies that we have? Or I shouldn't say that. Some of the companies have multiple ticker symbols, like Berkshire Hathaway's got apparently two different iterations of their stock. And I'm assuming these market caps are accurate and that they're really worth 1.4 some billion, 1.43 trillion, trillion, because this is in millions. This is a lot of money. I'm assuming that those are two separate companies, but they're so close in market cap that I wonder if that's really true. I'm not sure. We'll do some more research on that and figure that out in the future. What we can say is if this is accurate, then the market went up by $1 trillion today. All the markets, $1.1 trillion. That would be an up day, most people would say. 78% advancers, 5,547 of them, 22% decliners, right? Well, what does all this mean? How do we get anything relevant out of all this? Well, what we're sorting by in this table right now is we're sorting by market cap descending, meaning the companies with the largest market caps are on top. So apparently Apple is the biggest by market cap, biggest company on the exchanges. I won't say necessarily in the world, but apparently that's probably true, at least public companies anyway. So Apple's on there. They announced earnings on Thursday. They were good. And so the market as a whole has had a good day. And Apple, of course, had a good day as well, up 4.69%, or $141 billion today. That's right. Apple went up by $141 billion in value. Kind of sounds crazy, except that's the way the market works. It's a lot of people trading valuations back and forth all day long. So there was value in purchasing, Apple stock today before they went up, or purchasing options on Apple stock. If you had an option or a stock option in the money already, meaning one that was already $165 or greater with the strike price, then you made at least $778 on each one of those options today because they went up by $7.78, and intrinsic value is $100 per dollar that the option goes up. So just looking at things like that. All right, so we're looking at the biggest companies, and we're seeing that top down, they all had okay days or good days. First time, you got up with Apple, up with Microsoft, up with Alphabet, which is Google, up with Amazon, up with Berkshire Hathaway, up with NVIDIA, down a little bit with Meta platforms, which is Facebook. Yeah, they did. They changed their call letters. It used to be FB, and it's not anymore. They tried not to be called Facebook anymore. They're down a little bit. Tesla up, Johnson & Johnson up. So what we can say about things like this, and the way I want to structure these videos is we like to talk broadly about what's happening and the keywords of the day. And I mean, this is the story of the summer, and it's going to be the story of 2023. The same way that 2020 was like a COVID year, and we all kind of look back and be like the COVID times. We're going to look back, if we're still here as humanity, we're going to look back on this time, 2023, and be like, wow, that was the AI time. That was the artificial intelligence time. That was the time where all of a sudden people realize that there's a super intelligence that's being created, and we just need to tap into it if we want to do a lot of the things that we used to do ourselves. And it's going to be helpful, and it's also going to be destabilizing. It's going to do both things at the same time. So I'm not surprised to see companies at the top of this list, many of them which have themes related to AI right now. Microsoft with their Bing and their support of OpenAI, the ChatGPT creation company, essentially. Microsoft's funded that, owns 49% of it. They're also doing more things with AMD. How did AMD do today? AMD makes semiconductors and stuff like that. Yeah, they're also up today again as well. Look at their volume. Look at their volume, which is another thing I want to talk about here, is the volume as well as the market cap. I just brought up AMD for a second because there was a deal announced on Thursday, I believe, that said Microsoft is basically going to start funding AMD and help their cash flow and investment issues so that they can help them get, processors and things that they need to run all this AI technologies. That's what it needs. It needs GPUs, it needs processors. And so they're getting on top of it because they see that this is the revelation. This is what is happening. So I'm not surprised to see Microsoft, Google right on top. Apple's not going to be far away from this as well. They're going to have to do something on the AI spectrum. Amazon as well. You can see that they're all up today, but there's a reason why they're on top. And of course, NVIDIA. They are the number one company when it comes to not only the hardware in generating these processors, but also the software and how they make them and just things that they're doing with them. This company is not slowing down, and I would not be surprised to see them here at 708. I would not be surprised to see them be $1 billion company. A $1 trillion company. Let's get our numbers straight. I would not be surprised to see them be $1 trillion company by early next year, almost the end of this year. And that's enormous, right? That would move their stock price from 286 to like about 400, right? Something like that. It's possible because of what's happening and everyone needing processing and then building chips down to, I believe, the 3 or 4 nanometers size. We're trying to get down to 1 nanometers, if it's even possible. But they're on the vanguard. They're the ones that are doing it the best, the most. They are the company. So I am not surprised to see them go up 4%. You see companies that went up more than other companies on this day, right? Apple 4.69 because they reported the good earnings. Not sure why Amazon. I know Microsoft AI here, but you can see Alphabet a little slower, a little lower. Amazon, Berkshire. This is more real estate related, not entirely, but it isn't really AI related. I don't know what Warren and Charlie are doing when it comes to AI, but probably not much. It's not their area. Now, NVIDIA 4%, Facebook down, Tesla up. Tesla, one of my favorite companies, if not my favorite company, because of what they're doing for the planet. Whether you hate or you love Elon Musk, you gotta love this company because they're just making everything better, bringing us into the electric revolution. I can remember years ago when talking about electric cars being all over the road, you sounded like a nutty person who was, some kind of crazed hippie. That's only who was driving around Teslas like 10 years ago, right? When they were first coming out with the Model S and stuff. It was crazed hippies, really, is who I saw. And they were so happy to be driving their electric cars and they were loving it. And I was like, wow, those guys are cool. Those guys, but now it's everybody who can afford one. And soon it's going to become even more affordable the way that they're building these cars and manufacturing so many things in-house and working with batteries and technology. Not surprised. Speaking of not being surprised, look at the volume numbers. All right, this is how it's nice to see the volume numbers colorized, because it shows you that, for example, Apple was actually number one today in 2 different categories. 1 being the largest company on the market, and 2 having the most volume of any company on the market today. That's tough to do, but they did that today. And how can I prove that to you? Let's sort this list by volume instead to show you which companies were being traded the most today. And this is helpful when you're looking for volatility, because you'll start to see things like Tesla's on this list like every day. Tesla's like in the top 10 basically every day, because it's just people love to trade it, as well as them having a lot of potential and a ton of news. Now, sorry, Apple was not number one in volume. It was Pac West. Pac West went up by 81%. The only difference here is that they were only a $693 million company. And they went from $2, they went from $3.17, I guess, to $5.76 is what happened. Now, today's day, Friday, being the day for the banks, was a whole lot better than most of this week. Banks have been getting destroyed all week, and today it wasn't necessarily like that. So for some reason, there must have been news about Pac West that was saying they're either not going into receivership, or who knows what's happening here. But it looks like they're apparently going to survive according to a day like today, and people getting back in on them. Don't know exactly what happened, but you can tell something happened because that volume number is out of control, right? Apple, we talked about. Faraday Future Intelligent Electric common stock. So Faraday Future making electric vehicles. Notice that they're up by only a penny to 24 cents, which is still a 6% increase. However, look at the volume here, right? Now, I know they're a penny stock, so I guess, smaller amounts of money can create this volume, I think, because this is the number of shares that are being traded. But interesting to see if there's anything actually happening there. I know that it's difficult for electric car companies to get off the ground due to the scale of manufacturing. This is one of the reasons why Tesla is such a great buy, is what they've done with their gigapress and their ability to manufacture their vehicles in the lowest cost and fastest way possible by just pioneering brand new technology, like a stamper, like a huge stamping imprint of a ton of what makes up the core structure of the vehicle, including holes for hoses, or I don't know what hoses an electric car has, but holes for certain areas, and things have to be a different consistency. It was a really complicated process to come up with this gigapress, and it's a one-of-a-kind machine. There's machines that have to make this machine, and it's a fascinating process, but it's a reason why they can get out more vehicles and why they're a different company than Faraday Future, and that is obviously noted by the valuation of 168 million for Faraday versus 539 billion for Tesla. Other companies that had big volume today. Lyft down though. So Lyft way down today. Down 19%. I did not look into that. Should we ask Bing on my phone? Because Bing can help with this stuff. ChatGPT kind of can now. I'll talk more about AI as these videos progress, but I like to bring up Bing because Bing is searching the internet currently right now. So let's try to find out why. We're not going to go into the stock website to look and see what their reason is. We're going to ask AI. What? Here we're in Bing. We're in regular mode. Oh no, sorry, I'm talking to it already. Why did Lyft stock drop so much today on Friday, May 5th? Secret email.
Searching for, why did Lyft stock drop on Friday, May 5th?
Tell me.
Lyft stock fell on Friday, May 5th after the company reported guidance for its first quarter of 2023 that was short of analyst expectations. The company also forecasted dramatically lower profits than expected and said it will cut prices in an attempt to attract and keep customers.
Ooh.
Another reason for the drop in share price was that the markets aren't rewarding slow growth, as some companies have struggled to beat analyst estimates. I hope this helps.
Yeah, that was a pretty great
answer. Let me know if you have any other questions.
No, that was a pretty good answer. That was pretty good. Thank you. As I talk to robots, I'm going to stop your response. She was about to say you're welcome. She, call her a she. I know. Now that is really helpful. I'm having trouble with my vision. I've had bad vision my entire life, and as you get older, things deteriorate. And yeah, my vision's really having issues. But hearing things like this and being able to talk to personal assistants and have them do research for you, like I've always said, it's never been a better time to be sick. There's never been a better time to have a disease. There's never been a better time to have things that may impede your ability to be a functional human. Rather, there's never been a better time than now, because we're advancing more in our medical treatments and also in our personal assistants that can just talk to us, right? So that is a good answer. So that means that Lyft takes the 20% bath almost today, and they're not very, they're a $3.2 billion company, but things are essentially not looking up for them right now, and that's why you're seeing that show up in the market, right? Carvana, I hear mixed bag of Carvana. This I don't understand. Why did Carvana go up? We're going with Bing again. Why did Carvana stock go up on Friday, May 5th, 2023?
Searching for, why did Carvana stock go up on Friday, May 5th, 2023?
Carvana.
Carvana stock went up on Friday, May 5th after the company released its earnings report for the first quarter of 2023. The earnings report starts out positive, with revenue increasing by 16% from the year-ago quarter to $3.8 billion. I hope this helps. Let me know if you have any other questions.
So just a raw revenue increase that brings Carvana up 24%. And notice they're not a very highly priced per share company. And so it's not a massive move, but I mean, percentage wise it is though. So that's kind of interesting to keep an eye on. AMD, I totally understand what's going on there. That's predictable that they will probably keep going up. So they're a $142 billion company already. And I said I'm not giving advice. We are talking through things. I'm just not surprised to see them go up, because if Microsoft is taking a stake in them as being a provider to support their AI processing, we're pretty sure that AI is not going away. AI is officially an arms race between companies and countries and good and bad actors alike. And we will really start to see that. It is going to be the summer of AI. It's going to be the summer of AI. It's going to be the summer. It's going to be the fall. This story is not going to go away, because once you start to get into it and see the just expansion of what's becoming available, it's not just Bing here. Bing can do more complicated things than this. Bing can make this spreadsheet for me if I wanted her to. If I wanted her to do that, could totally do that. And making charts, just grabbing data and doing all this stuff for you. So we're gonna have to adopt as humans. We're gonna have to adopt to this availability of automated work if we can just talk to it properly. The better you can craft a question, the more specific answer you're going to get, and the more likely you are to get what you want. This applies to everything. It's not just tech. It's like, hey, you can ask Bing, like, how do I fix my toilet? It's not working right. The water's not draining or whatever. You can be able to take pictures of things and dump them into AI and have it really recite back to you this accumulation of human intelligence. And it's too much for all of our brains to handle right now. Nobody really understands what's going to happen, because we're not as well versed in all the information that exists in the universe and what the AIs are going to do with that. It's really a very interesting time, which is one of the reasons why I'm also focusing on the market, because one thing about making money in the market or taking advantage of things is seeing where things are moving, and the overreaction is great when it comes to things. So for example, there's a company called Shag, I think. Yeah. Shag is this like educational company. It was like supposedly helping tutoring and helping school related questions and stuff like that. They're at $10 a share today, but they dropped by like 40 some percent. Yes, you can see they're up 7% today. They basically came out and said, you know, more people are using ChatGPT already. We already see the impact on our business, which is basically an information educational type business. So they already decided that they were going to partner with OpenAI and, or, you know, partner with their API key essentially of ChatGPT, which means they're going to get access to the large language model that is ChatGPT to weave it into their own product line. And that's probably why they're up today. So, you know, they have a plan of what they're going to do. However, the fundamental like basis of what they're doing is still off of a different platform. And that platform is a platform that is going to destabilize companies like this everywhere. And eventually it's going to destabilize just, I mean, I don't know what percentage of companies it's going to completely change. It's probably going to be all of them. Question is how they react to that. And so I think there's a lot of value in looking through this file, looking through all the companies here and finding companies that are just going to be completely displaced by AI rather quickly. And that you will see these 40-50% drops in companies popping out here all the time as some company reports, oh, AI and ChatGPT has totally taken a huge percentage of our business because it's doing this now, because it's now making movies, you know, or it's just doing everything. So there's a lot of value in that. But then there's also a lot of value in piggybacking on the companies that are pioneering the AI techniques, because they're all of a sudden going to absorb a different type of market share from different companies now that the AI is going to be doing crazy things. So let's go back to a look by market cap instead of by volume. And let's start to go over some other things that I want to talk about, because you really do learn about the world here. So we're up $1 trillion today, right, on the market. Everyone's doing great. Well, one thing I noticed digging through here was that I still didn't sort. Let's go do this. More sort options under the symbol, not by volume, by market cap. So you can see the biggest companies again. And one thing I noticed was that Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Corporation is somehow, first of all, it's the first time a company other than a United States-based company shows up here. It's the 15th largest company on the markets. And I was like, wow, I had no idea they're worth $440 billion. And I was like, oh, now I understand a little bit more maybe why China wants to reunite the old school China and is, you know, does not have a positive stance toward Taiwan independence, because they've got companies like this there. Right. And semiconductor manufacturing is a huge, huge industry right now. Has been for a while, but now with what's going on with processing, this is becoming even more important related to AI. So not surprised to see them go up, surprised to see them in Taiwan, but there you go. Speaking of countries, like speaking of China, how did China do today? Right? China's up $4 billion today on the markets. Notice the size of the Chinese companies and the disparity between the big ones and the small ones. Alibaba is a $215 billion company based in China. They have a lot of trading today. They have a reasonable share price. The rest of them, you can see everything's below 100 billion, and it doesn't take long before you get to be below 10 billion. Looks like the top 10 companies are 10 billion and above. And these are who they are. Baidu, I've heard about before as well. All these companies, almost all of them, had good days because the market as a whole had good days. But it's interesting to look by company. Like, what does Chile have to offer? Chile also had a pretty good day. Sociedad Química y Minersa SE, common stock, whatever that is. It did pretty well, 6%. As a matter of fact, every single company in Chile went up today. Yay, Chile. How about Colombia? Right? Same thing. Everything up today. It's just an up Friday. You can see how it's amazing how the days mesh together, and like one day is a good day, another day is a terrible day, right? Now, let's go back and do some more research for a second. So what about like the banks, right? The banks were having trouble earlier this week. Look at finance, and we're still sorting by volume. Banks made $166 billion today globally. What about US banks? 114 billion. You can see that basically almost every single one of them went up today. So it was just an up day everywhere. It's the way this market goes, up and down, up and down. Do we even have a loser anywhere? We must. We must. I could do a change in gain loss, but it's amazing. Yeah, here's finally a tiny, tiny loss. So just an up day all around, right? 86% of banks went up today. It's just amazing from day to day how this stuff shifts. So I just wanted to do a review. I want to do a video every day about it because there's always something to talk about. And I see a type of volatility that we haven't really seen before coming. A type of volatility where all of a sudden it's going to become apparent that a company that we've been using for a long time and made a ton of money didn't react to AI appropriately and completely had their business model upended by brand new artificial intelligence. And they're just going to go from worth a ton to all of a sudden everyone being really hesitant about their near-term future. Because I mean, the ChatGPT app or something, it's like the most downloaded app in history, fastest growing, right? It's because it does so much. And it's only getting better. If you catch any of the videos about people who are experiencing all this AI and trying to then reiterate what is happening to the public, I catch a lot of these on YouTube. There's a guy, Matt Wolf, who's fantastic. There's Matt AI Vid Pro, I think, is another one, different Matt. There are a bunch of them. I'll start to mention them, but they're just, everyone is so excited and astonished at how fast things are changing and how it's getting better. That the common phrase in the industry is, this is the worst it's ever going to be. You know, however things are working right now, if an image quality is not great, it's the worst it's ever going to be. Like, this stuff is compounding upon itself really fast. It's something that we don't really fully digest as normal human beings. We don't understand the exponential growth factor and how it's different from linear growth. And exponential growth just means that things are moving up by a factor of 10 or a logarithmic factor and not by a normal factor. And that absolutely applies to technology and AI here, because the AI is learning, and the more information we give it, the more it's learning, and then we're adding things to it all the time, and it's getting very close to general intelligence, AGI. That is something that even people in the industry who were working on this did not think was going to be possible for decades. And now it's looking like you're probably going to have a basic AGI framework probably by the end of the year, which is insane. It's insane to think that with that, you know, the Bing AI personal assistant here, I'm asking her questions about, so I'm asking her, keep calling it her. I'm asking this AI questions about stocks, and really, you know, I should be asking it, you know, what should I have for dinner tonight if I want to feel healthy tomorrow, right? And she should be able to know, you know, everything about you, know your blood type, know, you know, just know everything that it'll need to know, and or ask you the right questions. And it's going to become commonplace. It's a very different way of thinking about interacting with the world, but we're just going to be left behind if we don't adopt it. We have to understand that accumulated intelligence is better than one person's intelligence. It can do more. And it doesn't mean we have to listen to it all the time, but it certainly means that we should visit with AI to help direct us. It's going to be something you're going to want to do. It's going to expand your ability to impact the world and get what you want to get done. So yeah, that's the stock update for the day. Up over $1 trillion apparently, according to this market estimate. And if you had any of these companies, you made a little bit of money today. Lost a little on Meta, Facebook. You lost a little on Eli Lilly. But everything else big on the list here did pretty well today. So I guess it was a good Friday. We will see how Monday is, and I will be back. We're going to see if we can do this. We're going to try to do a video every day. And we're going to talk about things because I'm certainly paying attention to this. This is where I've been directed to use my time. This is kind of what I care about because geopolitics ends up playing itself out in the stock market frequently. So it's just really nice to look, like what country had a bad day today in the market? Is there any country that did not have a good day? I'm looking up here to see if any one of these countries lost money today. Bahamas only had one company in here. Oh, Belgium. Belgium takes a beating today. Anheuser-Busch. Why? It's because of trans Bud Light, right? Like their Bud Light sales are way down because there's this backlash. Boy, that's a weird story. It's like apparently the Bud Light drinker does not like is very transphobic. And now all of a sudden, I'm assuming that what's going on is, you're having your redneck party out of the woods, and if somebody pulls out a Bud Light, they just get called a tranny, is what happens. And so nobody's buying Bud Light anymore. This is the only thing that went down, right? On a day where everything else is going up. Anheuser-Busch is having problems with that. And it's like sexist, racist, or whatever you want to call it. But looking past whatever it is that's causing that problem for Anheuser-Busch, it's still, it is an issue. Like it's going to take a while for them to re-engineer their stigma with the drunken redneck. Right? It's not just rednecks. I know a lot of people that drink Bud Light. A lot of them are rednecks though. But so it's just like, oh wow, yeah, I can tell that on a day where everything goes up, Anheuser-Busch actually goes down because they have not recovered from that yet. Pretty fast. How many countries? There's a lot of countries on here. How many countries are there in here? I don't think we have the full 190 or 216 or how many countries there are, but just want to take a look. Okay, not as many as I thought. This is a 6, 9, 10 by about 6. It looks like about 59 countries that we can choose from. And how's Kazakhstan doing? They have 3 companies on here. Freedom Holding common stocks, some warrants. Yeah, I mean, it's just a cool way to browse through everything. Indian companies lost money today. Who lost money? A bank. A lot of holding companies. How about Japan? Toyota is a winner. Sony is a winner. Mitsubishi is a winner. Yonsitsu depository shares. That's low market cap though. The big ones are up here though. You can see how everything was just a winner today. Jersey. Oh. Huh. Okay. Gambling group. Weird. Crazy, right? Just crazy. You can just look at everything. What's going on in Mexico? Economical. I think that's a bank. Don't know, but it's an easy way to do research is to just dig through here and start to understand exactly what you have to choose from as we bring our countries back down into one column. So that's the Ken's podcast stock market review. We will learn something every day. And while I won't necessarily give advice, you'll kind of understand my advice while I'm explaining what's going on because you're going to get my ideas of what's happening. As I mentioned, it is the AI summer. It is the summer of AI. It is all of the above. And expect big dominoes, not the company dominoes, which I like the company dominoes, but expect dominoes to fall when a company is not responding well to the AI revolution. And we're going to start to see them pop up, sometimes they might show up in day change ascending, day percentage change ascending. You're gonna see who got destroyed today. And I mean, a lot of these are almost, market caps under $1 billion or under $1 million in this sense. So what you do is you put a filter on here and you say, all right, we only care about companies with a market cap that's greater than, we're going to call it a billion, right? 1,000 million is a billion. And so these are larger companies. And you see here that, yeah, Lyft took that big hit, right? Third worst. Air Transport Services Group. Trupanion. Okay, I bet you Trupanion is one of these that has trouble dealing in the AI sphere. Let's take a look. Let's ask Bing. Why did Trupanion stock go down on Friday, May 5th, 2023? Trupanion.
Searching for, why did Trupanion stock go down on Friday, May 5th, 2023? Trupanion stock went down on Friday, May 5th, because the pet medical insurance company released its earnings report for the first quarter of 2023, which was not good news for TRUP stock. I hope this helps. Let me know if you have any other questions.
Pet medical insurance. Wow. Wow. I mean, wow. Did not realize that you could insure your pet. I guess it makes sense that you could, and going to the vet is expensive. Okay, so I would say that what that says is that while you wouldn't think your pet's health is a discretionary expense, because it's not, however, pet insurance is a discretionary expense because you end up making the decision whether or not you're going to come up with the money for that expensive arthritis surgery for your 12-year-old dog. You make that decision, and it's almost like the money isn't as much of a decision. It's how much you care. And while I see that this probably appeals to people who don't want to be faced with that financial decision as much, it certainly is a discretionary expense. So I see discretionary expenses being reduced here right now, as I think the takeaway from Trupanion over, they're reporting last quarter's results, right? So that's at the beginning of the year. And yeah, there's a lot to talk about in the direction of the market that's going to happen this summer. But like I said, it's going to be two directions. It's going to be an up direction when it comes to AI related things, and it's going to be a down direction in a lot of other companies, it seems like, with interest rates high, with destabilization really starting to be felt by everybody. So I'm not surprised to see that right there. Anyway, all right, that's enough for tonight. Just wanted to check in.
I'm sorry, but I'm not sure what you're asking.
I wasn't talking
Could
to
you
you.
please clarify your question?
I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to the YouTube audience. I was not talking to you.
I see. Let me know if you have any questions.
Okay. I don't know when she's listening, when she's not. They're always listening. There's nothing we can do about it. All right, guys. Good luck. Enjoy your day. I hope you made some money on the market today. And we'll be back on Monday to try to see how it goes then. Because the one thing I can tell you is that there will be trillions of dollars floating around on Monday, just like there is every day the market's open. Good luck. May all your stocks be winning.